From the time we're children, we're taught to fear the darkness. Monsters are in the dark. Don't go outside when it's dark. Be very afraid of the dark. We even have holidays that make us afraid of the dark. Halloween. Man, programming runs pretty deep. It's one of the things that I've noticed on this journey is that I want to say almost seems like it's intentional, but it's like blatantly obvious that they're intentionally programming this world so people don't wake up. I mean, it's crazy. It sounds kind of conspiracy theory, but all these things that are happening and just the way that they program the mind, it's like putting cement over your soul from the time you're a child, just like filling you up so deeply with this shit. And then you got to like go and excavate the rest of your life to get back down and get out to it. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not that hard, but so love the darkness. This is some profound realizations I've had recently in meditation. And people talk about that. We got to be able to embrace the dark. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk about 3 different things on this video. Basically, I'm going to talk about what I kind of already have, and that is that we're so programmed to believe darkness is bad. And then I'm going to talk about just the general, like, practical reasons and how to apply loving darkness in your life where it'll actually help you immediately in the now. And then I'm going to talk about the really cool shit. I'm going to talk about the metaphysical, and I'm going to explain to you why we've been lied to about light and dark. Okay, so it's everywhere. We're programmed, that the light is good and the darkness is bad, and we're supposed to be afraid of it. We kind of already talked about that, and it's just be aware. I guess the idea here is be aware of how entrenched that is in you. Like, we think, like, even if you start, if you're like me, you like grew up Christian, not super heavy Christian, but like went to church and stuff, and then maybe you don't go anymore, maybe you're still in a church or whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you just look at it, whether or not you're even active in a church, you have this knowingness of like darkness, demonic, like bad, like there's the good and bad. And I even I taught this stuff for years, recently, and it's this whole duality, and it feeds it. But as you're going to see when we get to the third part of the video, it doesn't work that way. So how do you love the darkness, like in your own life? Very simply, you just alchemize it. You just go to that feeling. It's like taking your awareness to whatever resistance you're feeling. And if you're sitting there meditating, you just watch it burn. It's like closing your eyes and watching a campfire that's upside down, and the wood's on the top and the fire's coming up from the bottom. The fire's your prana, your chi, your life force, and it's just cooking away all the illusion. And you just watch it burn. And how do you do that? You bring your attention to that point between, like, wherever that pain is. Like, that pain's where the true you is hitting the false you. It could be anywhere in the body. Oftentimes it's in the head, right? And so you watch that. You sit back at the seat of consciousness and you just watch it. And it starts to alchemize. I mean, that is true alchemy. And we've been taught to be afraid of the darkness. So what happens when we are working on unraveling our traumas is we resist them, like, oh, I'm bad, or oh, ego's bad, or oh, this is bad, or like I can't, you're taught to turn your back on it. You're taught to get away from it. You're taught that, like, protect yourself, or like put up a shield so that you don't get touched by all the dark forces. Like, you're taught, like, all the time to resist the darkness. And that is the very thing that keeps it going. It's all you, by the way. The whole thing, like the darkness attacking you, is the pieces of you that you won't look at. That's all it is. It's all you. So metaphysically, let's check that out now. So I was really looking at this, and everything comes from the absolute. This is going to get a little non-dual and pretty deep. So this concept we have of of God, like the religions have and things. I'm not going to say it's right or wrong. I'm just going to say that it's bigger than that. It's not an entity. It's not. It's like it's everything, and this is the absolute. So it's also called like Brahman or whatever. It's all kind of the same thing. We're all pointing towards the same direction. It's not about proving one right or wrong, but when you get into non-dual and you start talking or working with what the masters have written, it's all about transforming into the absolute. And the absolute is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It's everything and nothing at the same time. It's indescribable. Any word you use to describe it is wrong. And that's like the vastness of the truth of who you are. And then you pop out of that and you become the illusion. But when that first started, like, why did this happen? Like, that's the existential question that every seeker ends up at some point. You're like, why am I here? Or why did this happen? Why is there duality? If there's this world of the absolute where I'm from and everything's infinite and beautiful, why am I here? What is this world of duality then? Right? And at some point, and the truth is, there's a lot of theories on what happened, and they're super interesting. I'm not going to go into them. Like, there's like the absolute wanted to see itself. It accidentally folded over, and there's like a wormhole. Like, there's all these different really cool metaphysical theories. The truth is, no one knows, right? I mean, if you know someone that knows, or let me know. But basically, what happened in the very beginning was let there be light, and there was light. It went from openness to a point of light. So light, openness meaning the absolute, like nothing. And when I draw a circle, I'm like encompassing everything, but there's no edge to it either. It's like the whole, it's everything. So at the point that there was a first point, like in Genesis, let there be light. And then now we've got duality. So right there, what we're seeing as light is actually the first point of duality. So that might tell you right there that we are actually, at our core level, we are the absolute. We are the nothingness. We are the emptiness. The light is what started the creation of duality. And so we look at light, and we've been trained that, well, light makes things grow. It makes things, it's the bringer of the light. It makes the crops grow. It makes the trees grow. It does everything. I'm just going to throw this out there. This runs so deep that you probably will reject what I'm going to say, but I want you to also be aware of your programming, like how deep this goes. Every single thing that is created must be destroyed. That's the world of duality. Every single thing that quote unquote lives in this illusion also has to die, right? And anything that is truly real cannot be destroyed. I think that's like the first quote in A Course in Miracles. My point is, it's all illusion. Light is all an illusion. And we think about light, and this is the first, I've actually just like was figuring this all out last night in this meditation. And we think about light, we think that it's like the all bringer, but actually light naturally dissipates and goes away. Even the sun will burn out into ashes. But darkness, so light like goes out into space and gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And darkness is the exact opposite. It pulls everything into it. Darkness is the feminine. It is the womb from which everything was born. It's what you are. It's what we are. But in this world of duality, in the illusion, when we're viewing from the false self, we think that light is the source of everything. And it is the source of everything in duality, which is suffering, which is, I mean, it's still beautiful. And we can live here. And of course the light's beautiful. The sunshine's beautiful, but it'll also burn you, right? Like, if you actually think about this, it was the darkness all along, not the light. And we were programmed, I would say maliciously, to believe the light. Now, the big picture here is it's not like we're choosing one. We've got light and darkness, and then technically the whole thing is within the absolute. So neither of them are right or wrong. But the problem with believing that light is right, and if you touch the darkness, you'll be evil and you'll have, all these demons and things, and they'll come into your world. And what happens when you have those thoughts put into your head by the contemporary religion is you get fear, and you don't look at the darkness because you're afraid if you even make eye contact with it, it'll like be in you. So now you've been programmed not to look at who you are. The darkness, which is nothingness, which we've also been programmed to believe that nothingness is bad, but nothingness is pure potential. So it's a complete 180 of what we've been taught. Love the darkness. Love the darkness in yourself. It is you turning your back on your own darkness that makes you incomplete, that makes you resistive. Like if you guys watch that story, I don't know which one I'll post first, but there's a video I did. What's it called? The Divine Feminine, something about Divine Feminine. I tell a story about how I saw the dark. I'm not going to go into it, but that's kind of where this all came from and what I started to see. What you fear, everything that we've been taught as dark and bad, is simply pieces of us that need to reintegrate. That's it. Love the darkness. So the metaphysical side, I understand that's, hopefully it gets your brain thinking, and just sit and meditate on it. First there was light, but what was there before light? Perfection. It's perfect. That's the absolute. That's where we go back to. So, man, it's so funny. I discovered a lot of this when I started really getting deep into religions and what happened in 375 in the Council of Nicene with Constantine and the Roman Empire, and you start looking at how they rewrote things and how they changed things. And I don't want to make this channel about that because it's just unfortunate. But they've twisted things around considerably. So in simple terms, let's take it all back to how you can apply this in your life. If you want to go deep on the metaphysical, there it was for you, and that'll get your brain thinking. You're probably thinking like, wow, it's pretty interesting, right? But if you want to just keep it simple, if that's too much for you, all you got to do is sit down and be willing to look at your darkness and allow it back into your life and stop resisting it. Love yourself for not being good at something. Love yourself for being incomplete. Love yourself for sounding stupid. Love yourself for failing. Love yourself for being fat. Love yourself for whatever. Love it. That's how it goes away, by the way. Love yourself for procrastinating. Just sit with it and reach out like internally and just give yourself a damn hug. Say, it's okay, man. You're doing the best you can. Like it's that pressure of us trying to be the light all the time that keeps the darkest dragging us down like chains and shackles. You're whole. It's only the parts of you that you won't look at that are quote unquote missing. So that's the journey, is just sitting in it. Just sitting in it, just being with it. Realizing you were never flawed. I know it feels like you are. I mean, I still feel like I am sometimes, but it's like every time you feel those feelings of like, I'm not enough, I'm insecure, I'm fearful, people don't like me, just love it. Like, love it. Be like, drink it. Like, pour it in a cup and be like, it's the best elixir I've ever had. Give me more of it. Love your darkness. It's the fastest way to know thyself and be free.